Society in Reivers House in Kilkeel, and we would send them up here to Hannah's Close to experience what life was like during the early 1600s to live here as an Ulster Scot. When the Scottish settlers first came over here in the early 1600s, as well as bringing with them their Ulster Scots language and their music and dance culture traditions, they also brought with them their Presbyterianism. And here in Kilkeel we have one of the largest Presbyterian congregations, Mourne Presbyterian Church, or also in Kilkeel known as the Big Meeting House.
To another meeting house now, and serving 4 lodges, this is Kilkeel's new Orange Hall.
This building, obviously, it's a third building. First one was built in 1869, the second one was built in 1922, which has just been tossed to the ground, and this new one has been built. And obviously a lot of thought, a lot of planning, about 3 years of planning went into this here, and absolutely a magnificent building, as you can see. I hope we'll be here for at least another 100 years. Our Orange Lodge in Mourne somehow is unique from other places for a simple reason. It is so family orientated, and it's just a day that everybody looks forward to. And Mourne is unique in another way. The fact that we have the largest Orange Lodge in the whole of Northern Ireland. We have the largest number of Orangemen for any one district.
Along with their faith and cultural traditions, the Ulster Scots settlers also brought their fishing skills to Kilkeel, and today the busy harbour still thrives. Well, what a beautiful setting we have here, and you know, it's an incredible wee town as well. And Pamela Houston's here from Kilkeel Development Association. Pamela, what does it mean to the town today?
It's a fantastic day to have the 12th. It's a traditional 12th, it's a very rural 12th. It'll be a much different day than you'll get in Belfast. Very family orientated, very much people coming in, meeting up for that once yearly spectacle that we have. And as you see from where we are today, we're in one of the most beautiful parts of Northern Ireland. Kilkeel is the capital of the Kingdom of Mourne, and it's an area of outstanding natural beauty. And you see we've the mountains, we've the sea, and we're the biggest fishing community in Northern Ireland. So we're the home of great seafood as well.
And being a flagship parade, this is important for the town to show what it can do and show what it is, really.
Absolutely. Kilkeel will always put on its very best face, and you'll see it here today. The bands are all very traditional bands, and you'll see families and friends coming together to enjoy the day. It's great to see such a traditional pageant in Kilkeel, and you'll see that everybody's enjoying themselves, and it's family friendly fun.
What would you like people to take away from it? We've just spoken to some people from Portugal a few moments ago, so you get visitors coming into the Mourne district. What would you like them to go away and tell their friends and tell their families?
We'd like them to come back and visit Kilkeel. We've got lots of little independent shops. We're very friendly and we're a great welcome. And if you come down to the Mournes, there's mountains, there's sea, there's lots of things to do, and you'll have a wonderful time in the Mournes, and Kilkeel is the place to come.
Thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your day, Pamela. Gavin, just looking at the bands passing us now, and we're seeing flutes, but we're hearing pipes and all manner of great things today as well. So, you know, in terms of the First World War commemorations, for example, what are the connections with Kilkeel?
Well, actually, one of the bands and lodges just passes at Ochnahuri, 343B. And that had CSM Robert Hanna, who won the Victoria Cross on the 21st of August 1917. And he was a lodge member of Ochnahuri, and he actually emigrated to Canada, joined a Canadian lodge there, so they're very, very proud of him here in Kilkeel, and I think they're going to be unveiling a banner to him next year.
Excellent, excellent. Now, that history is such an important part of things here in Kilkeel. For now, though, we hand you back to Belfast.
Thank you, Ralph. And back here in Bedford Street in Belfast, we've come to the end of District Number 5, and I should have mentioned that they were accompanied by the ladies of Sandy Row, Ladies District Number 1. I think, actually, David, that ladies are playing an important part of the parade today.
Yes, and certainly in Sandy Row, the Ladies' Lodge there is accredited as the first lodge in Belfast. The Bridget family were very closely associated with Sandy Row and with Women's Orangeism as well. And you'll see quite a few Orange ladies on parade today, I would imagine.
And the parade is now moving into District 6, which is the largest district in the Belfast Parade, representing Ballymacarrat with 26 lodges and 20 bands. Here are some of the women looking very smart today and playing their important part in the parade.
Yes, number 6 district was formed in 1872, Walter, and that was at the early years of Belfast County. Really, the county itself was formed in 1863. So these districts then were formed arising out of that, and when the county was formed, there were 90 individual lodges in the city, so that's quite a large number even at that point.
Well, we're going to hand now down to Helen in the crowd.
Well, Walter, you know, as we heard from Kilkeel there, the 12th is a big family day out, and it's no exception here in Belfast. I'd like to introduce you to this family.
Karen Singleton.
And this is your...
Lorraine Barn, her sister.
Your sisters, and you are?
I'm her daughter, Nikki Singleton.
And we've got another little one down here. What's your name?
Jaded.
Well, it's nice to meet you. Now, we wouldn't miss you girls in a crowd, that's for sure.
Every year we dress up. We've been coming here for 15, 20 years. My mummy brought us when we were wee. I brought my children, and now we're bringing our grandchildren.
That's great. And I actually recognise your faces because you always come to this same spot where we are.
Every year, same spot. It's good spot, handy to the car, and a great sights, but we always come to the same spot.
And what do you like about the day?
We just love it. Just the music, it's so exciting, it's brilliant.
Well organised.
Well organised, so it is, and the weather's great today.
And the bow is absolutely incredible. If you know, you could never get lost with that on your head. Nice to meet you, thanks very much.
Thanks, Helen.
Back to you, Walter.
Thank you, Helen. And again, this lovely view looking the length of Bedford Street right down to Donegal Square, with again the Linnenhall Library forming the backdrop to that. And here we have another of these magnificently attired bands.
Yes, I understand they have, I think, new uniforms this year, Walter, again, as we were talking earlier about the uniforms, and that's a particularly impressive one from East Belfast, the UVF Regimental Band.
And look at all the decorations worn on the collarettes.
Oh, some people collect different badges, others have badges for long service, and the lodge emblems as well, so some of those sashes would be quite heavy, I would imagine, by the time they're finished.
That's one of the things about a long parade like this, and again, weather dependent. I mean, the sashes must be very much at risk in bad weather.
Yes, well, nobody likes a very bad wet day because it impacts on sashes, on banners, and in the country areas it impacts on the music, it impacts on lambeg drums and country parades too, so nobody likes that, and if you get wet, it's a whole day affair, really.
Again, lovely evidence of the collarettes worn by so many on the parade today. Where would the banners come from? Are they manufactured here?
There's one banner maker in Northern Ireland, so most banners would come from Northern Ireland, one full-time person and others that work part-time, so most of the banners here would be local banners. In the past there would have been banner makers also in England and Scotland. There was a company called the Chittle Company near Chesham in London in the early 1900s, made a lot of banners, both orange banners, trade union banners and church banners as well. And a banner probably could cost between £2,000 and £3,000 to produce.
Richness of colour in the banners too. I mean, they really are very colourful on a variety of themes.
Yes, there's a great artistry involved in these banners, Walter, and yes, there would be historical themes. There might be people connected to lodges.
And Martin Luther here.
Martin Luther, the big anniversary coming up next year for Martin Luther in terms of his famous thesis in the church door in Württemberg.
And now we're going back again to Kilkeel and Ralph McLean.
Thank you, Walter. Yes, indeed, bands of all ages here in Kilkeel, Gavin, today, young and old.
That's the thing, Ralph. We've got sort of two lodges who've just paraded, Derry Oak and Brunswick, who actually have warrants signed in 1823. Brunswick actually still carries their lodge warrant, which was signed by Ernest Augustus, the Duke of Cumberland, who's the fifth son of King George III. And you know what? He actually lost his eye fighting with the Hanoverians at Tournai in 1794. So they've actually got that little bit of history. He ended up becoming King of Hanover.
We'd be lost without you as well. We can see the parade coming through, and it's a lively event today, and we see the banners as well, and we hear all the different instruments today, and we're hearing a whole range of things in Kilkeel, aren't we? A whole range of musical sounds.
Well, this is it. I mean, we have accordion bands, flute bands, pipe bands, and of course we have the silver band which for Kilkeel itself, which accompanies Kilkeel True Blues 1034. They have the honour of actually putting up the arch every year, Ralph. So
excellent, doing the double.
That's right.
I like their style.
That's right.
So a lot of people, a lot of busy people here today then as well, and a lot of great stories throughout the parade.
Oh, very much so. I mean, actually, we see Cranfield 907 going past. They actually have on their banner the nod to the Second World War history. And these mountains round us were where the Americans trained for D-Day. A huge amount of history just seeping through the streets here as we sit watching it all go by.
And Cranfield, of course, just one of the many stories. We're seeing them pass now, and we're seeing all the folks lining the streets as well. A great turnout today in Kilkeel.
Very much so, and it's like I say, it's nice to see everybody out enjoying themselves. Not quite in the sunshine, but it's nice and warm as well. A good day for the walking, I think, as well, Ralph.
And for a historian like you, a place like this just must be nirvana for you.
Absolutely. I mean, to be quite honest, I've seen Glenlochan with its banner from 1870. 1875. I think the Derry Oak flag, that's the first time it's been on parade here since 1901. So there's a lot of nice little nods to the past going on here, and it's obviously a Mourne tradition to be friendly and welcoming as well.
And you're a man from not too far away, aren't you?
That's right, Lahowby from Banbridge. So this is it. We joke that Kilkeel is behind the mountains, and they joke that we are actually behind the mountains. So there we go.
So it's been a good day for you then.
It
so
has
far,
indeed.
You've enjoyed the history and enjoyed
Very
the day
much
out
so.
here in Kilkeel. Well, for now though, we'll hand you back to Belfast.
Thank you again, Ralph. Again, our view down Bedford Street. Wonderful shirt sleeve order for some of the bands too. There's less formal wear, I think, in the parade today, isn't there?
Yes, there appears to be a lot of very optimistic people in the parade today, I think. Not too many suits around in this particular lodge that we're looking at the moment, anyway. And yes, for people it's an opportunity to be a bit more relaxed, I think, when you get a good day weather-wise.
And there are the armbands which are being worn again as part of the Somme commemoration.
Yes, those are symbolising the different battalions from the Ulster Division, and they represent different areas of the city, their emblems. So again, bringing back the memory of the events of 100 years ago, which were very major events for the city of Belfast, and the Battle of the Somme itself was of major consequence in this city.
Is it a big effort to carry a bass drum 6 miles from Clifton Street to the field?
Well, they will relieve each other as they're doing at the moment, so they will make sure they stage it so that nobody is carrying the drum too far, and it is a very energetic job, as we can see as they go past us, so that's what usually happens.
Yeah, I would think even playing the drum would be one thing.
Yes, it is a long haul for many people, and the bass drum is a very important instrument in any of the bands. So you will find they're very enthusiastic, they're usually very loud, and then there's another drummer to replace them after a little while, so they don't get too tired out.
Yeah, I think not only do we hear the sound of the bands here, we actually feel them as they go past.
Definitely.
And there are young people practicing for the future, maybe. There we go, no sore feet at the moment. And this is again, we're I think coming. We're still within District 6, are we?
Yes, we're still in District 6, a very large district, and they'll have come this morning from Ballymacarrat, Orange Hall, across to the city centre to join the parade, and a few Scottish bands with the district as well. The Pride of Govan is one of the bands that have come across to join number 6 district.
This must be a great day out for so many Scottish Orange personnel.
Well, the Scottish Orange Lodges and bands will already have had their parades, and so the 12th of July over in Northern Ireland is a big event for them to come across to, and there's lots of them would have family connections. Some of the lodges would be connected, and some bands will go over from here to the Scottish parades, so they all know each other quite well, I think.
And the bearskin hats here, part of the traditional military uniform.
Yes, indeed. And some of these bands are extremely well turned out.
Very smart drum major.
Yes, he certainly is.
Again, another representation of the imagery of the banners.
Again, that's quite a popular image, the Bible and Crown on banners. And so a lot of banners will have similar images on them, Walter, and sometimes banners then will be designed, bespoke banners will be designed as well.
Well, as we've been seeing today, many districts have been commemorating the centenary of the Somme with music from the era, banners and bannerets, and even with costume. For one pipe band in Convoy in County Donegal, it's all in the name.
Donegal has some of the most beautiful landscapes in the country. It also has a long and loyal association with the 12th of July celebrations, especially in the east of the county. We've come to Convoy, home to the award-winning Thiepval Memorial Pipe Band. But why Thiepval, a name synonymous with the Battle of the Somme?
The band would originally have been known as Convoy Pipe Band. They were actually Convoy Ulster Unionist Pipe Band when it was first formed in 1905. And then quite a lot of men from the area of Convoy headed off to the First World War, and a lot of them lost their lives. I believe up to something like 17 or 18 from this locality didn't come back. They were from both sides of the community, and I believe there was 2 or 3 sets of brothers who didn't return. As a result of that, the members of the band at that time decided to rename it as Thiepval Memorial. I think remembering someone's sacrifice, that these, now I know it was a different time and maybe a harsher time, but so these men headed off there, and showed a lot of bravery. It means an awful lot, I think, to us. I think particularly for maybe some of the newer members that come in, they're even asking, what's this name all about?
I'm pipe major of the band. Joined the band in 1992. Need to make sure that E comes in and locks in tight. Just played as a piper in the band till I was 20, and I was put in as pipe major in 2003. Up until recently, we would have self-taught most of our members. They would have been all young local children, but in the last 4 or 5 years, we found there was very little children coming through. So most of our players are actually, well, half of our band would be from Northern Ireland, just across the border, Castlederg, New Buildings, Londonderry. We're very proud to have the name Thiepval Memorial Pipe Band. Everywhere we go, people would ask us what our name stands for, or where did our name come from. So we will have no hesitation explaining that we were named after the men who left Convoy in 1916 and didn't return.
And that the Thiepval Pipe Band, it's a very fine pipe band, so it's lovely to hear that story of how they began. Now, when you come to the 12th, everybody's going to get a bit peckish, and I think we've found the perfect solution here. This is Fiona Chapman. And Fiona, explain to me what you have set up especially for today.
Helen, we've set our London bus up outside City Hall. We've got teas, coffees and loads of cake.
Now, London bus, a lovely big red double-decker bus.
It is, yeah. It's 50 years old, and she came from Nottingham last year, and she's done up all spanking new inside with lots of timber and lots of quirky, funny, different things.
And you've set up outside the City Hall.
Yes, we are there today. We go different places all across the year, and you never know quite where we'll be. But we love getting invited, and we love going different festivals and things.
This, I presume, then is your first 12th?
It is my first 12th with the bus, yes.
And how's it gone so far?
Oh, we've met lovely people. We've had a great day so far, lots of visitors, and we're looking forward to seeing more.
Well, look at what they've brought here. Now, you couldn't have a better example of what to eat on the 12th is a good big slice of orange cake.
Absolutely, orange cake on the 12th and a nice hot cup of tea with sugar.
I need that. Oh, Fiona, it's lovely to meet you, and thank you very much. Bye. Back to you, Walter.
Thank you very much indeed, Helen. Well, David Hume and I, haven't got tickets for the bus, but you know where we are. We're up in our little cubicle here, overlooking this magnificent view down Bedford Street. And I hope you're keeping an eye on where we are in the parade, David.
We're still in number 6 district, which is making its way through the city centre, Walter, out towards the Lisburn Road. So it's a very large district.
And again, huge crowds lined either side of the street here, and very colourful looking too.
Yes, there are very large crowds right along the street in front of us here. And they're getting a good weather day for it. No umbrellas at this point in time anyway. It's a very nice morning.
There was a little bit of disruption here in Ormeau Avenue earlier this morning, but as you can see, everything here is back to normal. And again in the crowd, people of all generations here, family parties gathered here.
I think this is an important part of it, that it is a generational aspect to the 12th, and that's very, very significant in all areas where these parades take place, that you will find different generations.
We're watching the live colour pictures of the 2016 parade, but in 1969 things looked rather different. From full colour to the days of black and white television in 1969 from this archives film clip. And we can see how all those years ago the parade had a much more formal look, Sunday best at its best, and with an eye on the weather, rolled umbrellas. So nothing changes maybe, because we always keep an eye on the weather. But very much the tradition of the parade back in those days as well. And this was the age of the miniskirt, in contrast to those dark suits. And as in today's parade, Scottish participation in evidence. I suppose a certain amount of athleticism was a help at any time on these parades. But the vast crowds, many of them for the duration, I think, maybe the television cameras, a new attraction on the streets of Belfast, and no traffic islands. And there's the picture today of the Ulster Hall, a representation perhaps of 19th century Belfast. And also, of course, there's the Northern Ireland Invest building, maybe a representation of 21st century architecture here. And Windsor House there too, showing the changing face of Belfast over the years.
And Sydenham Lodge, one of a number of lodges that connected to different areas of workplaces. That was Harland and Wolff and Shorts, men from those workplaces that formed the lodge in 1949, Walter. And it features the Harland and Wolff shipyard, Samson and Goliath, very prominently on its banner.
Yes, many of the lodges traditionally have had an industrial background.
Yes, there would have been lodges that would have been, there was a baker's lodge, a shipwright's lodge, and they would have been based in the factories. And a lot of people came in, of course, to the city in the 19th century, early 20th century to work in the factories, the mills and in the shipyards. And it was an important part, I think, of keeping their identity with them and keeping their roots as well. And you find a number of lodges in Belfast are named after County Monaghan or County Donegal or County Cavan, for example, again, showing evidence of where the founders of those lodges came from.
Now, the order is represented across the world, isn't it? And how did the Orange movement spread then out of these islands?
Well, it spread really in three main ways. Firstly, it spread through military lodges from the 1798 period. There were lodges that were given warrants by the Grand Lodge within regiments. And when they went to different parts of the world, they took the warrant with them and they formed civilian lodges in places like New Zealand. We also have an account from Canada in 1799 of an Orange parade very early, and that's down to a military lodge. Numerically, the largest way that Orangism spread was through Protestant immigration from Ireland. And if you look at Montreal in Canada, for example, the first Orange lodges were formed by people who came from County Tipperary. And the third way that Orangism spread was through Anglican missionaries in West Africa. And there are still lodges in Ghana and Togo today as a result of that from the earlier part of the 20th century, around the time of the First World War. So a fascinating social history in terms of its spread and where it ended up arriving.
I've got it, yep. Many of the men and women who are taking part in today's parade have been doing so since they were children. Claire McCollum caught up with local football legend David Jeffrey, who's following in his own father's footsteps.
So David, you've brought me somewhere that's very close to your heart.
Claire, extremely close. I have been coming here since I was 12 years of age. You go ahead. Go ahead.
Ballymena United manager David Jeffrey may be better known for his skills on the sidelines, but football's not the only thing he plays. David, so this is a room full of memories, I would say.
Well, Claire, you're now very welcome to the band hall of Ballykeil Conservative Flute Band, a band in which I play the flute, right from was very, very young. In fact, we're very much about family. I have to get my glasses on.
You can see the history all around the walls.
You'll see
here.
the history all around the walls, but I'll have to pick these out. My father Kenneth, who is chairman and treasurer to this day. Myself. My brother Billy in the front row, who's now conductor of the band. My brother Kenneth. My uncle Ronnie, who has since passed, and his father, Uncle Hughie. We go further on down. This is a particular favourite of mine. And it's because our band in July 1948 won second prize at Windsor Park.
Wow, it was meant to be.
It was meant to be, very, very much meant to be.
That passion for music has been passed down through 5 generations of the family. And these days his father Ken still likes to keep a watchful eye over the band practice.
Daddy was always very keen to get us into the band. And I remember very much wanting to play the drums. And Dad says, no, David, we need flute players. We need flute players, so he taught me the flute. The first march we learned was Christian Soldiers. And I was very fortunate. I went to Dundallen Boys High School and would have played obviously in the orchestra and in the school band and what have you. I got to grade 8. That was largely down to my mother when, as a young man, I played at Manchester United. And part of the deal was that I would continue with my education, which included my musical tuition. I still have the flute, which Manchester United bought me. I absolutely love playing the instrument, fantastic instrument. And the wonderful thing about coming here is I just come to play the flute. And Billy conducts our band now, leads our band, and I just sit back and enjoy the evening. What we've always done is to make sure that we emphasise not what divides us, but what brings us together. We play in the May Day celebrations here in Hollywood. We play in the local churches, we play at the local fairs, we go round the nursing homes at Christmas. And yes, we also, march with the Loyal Orders.
Tell me, do you have a favourite tune?
Moore Street is just a lovely, nice, tight march, and usually, you know, you can see the shoulders going in the drummers, and you have an extra skip in your step. And if the bass drummer doesn't go too quick, then you can get all the notes in as well.
I remember your first 12th, David.
Earlier this year, David was presented with the Grand Masters Award for his contribution to local football and in recognition of his managerial achievements.
I am incredibly proud to be a member of the Orange Institution and for what it stands. When I got that award, you know, I was amazed, and I felt very, very humbled. Very humbled, and I was particularly pleased for my parents, because that was very much an unexpected award. I wonder what Uncle Alec would say.
And David's not the only one of the family to be honoured with an award this year.
Father was 80 last December, and because he's got to that grand old age, he has been awarded an honorary life membership. First one in the family, Father. First one in the family. That's right. We as a family are tremendously proud. He's already got his 50-year medal, but to be recognised by your own private Orange Lodge is something very special. What do you think Grandad Jeff would say?
Oh, he'd be as proud as a peacock.
He'd be well pleased, wouldn't he?
He would. He would.
Well, I'll tell you what, Pop, I am so massively proud of you. Really, really proud of you, Pop.
Thanks very much.
Brilliant.
Thanks very much.
Do you see yourself going on to the age your father is now?
Well, first of all, God willing, if I'm still here, but I will be part and parcel of Ballykeil Conservative Flute Band and Ballykeil Defenders LOL 417 until my Father in heaven calls me home.
And hopefully the weather will stay fine for Ballykeil's parade in Donaghadee today. Earlier in the morning, the parade paused at the City Hall to lay wreaths at the cenotaph. This is something which takes place every year, but with a deeper significance, marking the centenary of the Battle of the Somme. Wreaths laid by several of the leading personnel here present today. And the bugler is Past Master George Spence. And the wreaths are being laid by the County Grand Master, the Deputy County Grand Master, and the District Master of Number 3 District, plus the Grand Master of Scotland, Henry Dunbar. A very significant moment. And that event took place as the head of the parade reached Donegal Square and went into the Garden of Remembrance to the cenotaph. Well, things are a little bit quieter here at the moment, just a little. But again, where are we now in the parade, David?
Well, we've just moved out of number 6 district through the smallest district, District 7 and 8, which is 5 lodges and 3 bands. And then we'll shortly be with district number 9.
And while this is the situation in Belfast, let's go back again to Ralph in Kilkeel.
Thank you very much. I'm joined here in Kilkeel by Mourne District Master Trevor McConnell. Trevor, it's fallen quiet here. It's calm again, but it's been a busy day, hasn't it?
It's been a very busy day. We had a big event here last night with Schomburg with our pageantry, and the town was filled to capacity, and the field on the Manse Road where we're going now was also full of people, and it was a tremendous occasion. We've cleared the field up this morning and last night, and we're now ready to go down for... Every lodge has its own picnic in the field now, and then we will have a drumhead service. We started very early this morning. We would normally be coming through Kilkeel about now at 12 o'clock or so, but it's been tremendous to get all the lodges wanting to be here early. Mourne has a big Orange fraternity, We are very well supported by our churches here in Mourne, and the Orange Men support their churches as well.
And we can see the band from earlier, we can see them on screen now, and the difference between the Irish pipe and the Scottish pipe, because that's a key element of Ballymartin, isn't it?
That's a key element. Again, a lot of the military bands would have been using Irish pipes, Brian Boru pipes, right up until 1968. And funny, our band in Ballymartin, my band, was formed in 1968, so I've been playing the Irish pipe since 1968. The chanter has more keys, has keys on it, other than the Scottish chanter, and it has more notes. There's only about 5 Brian Boru bands now in Northern Ireland, and we're one of them. There's another one in Newcastle and Ballygowan, and there's a couple out in County Tyrone as well. So we try to keep that tradition up. I'm now 46 years or whatever piping, and really enjoy it.
And the atmosphere in the town, we've mentioned it a few times today, very much family orientated here in Kilkeel.
Oh, very much so. Once we go down to the field now, families will all gather around. The lodge numbers are all put round the field, and every lodge has a number of cars allowed to go into the field with more elderly Orange Men and their families, and there will be a picnic there in the field, and our service will start at 1:30 with Reverend William Bingham here of Mourne Presbyterian Church.
Well, we're keeping you back from the field now. We'll do that no longer, Trevor. Thank you very much indeed, and enjoy the rest of your day. Now, you know, many people come to parade here in Kilkeel for many, many reasons. It could be the atmosphere, it could be to meet old friends, make new friends, or perhaps just enjoy the music.
Always a favourite in Kilkeel's 12th Parade is the Pride of Ballinran Flute Band. The flutes the band play are a piece of precision craftsmanship that produce a clear quality sound. They're Miller Wicks flutes, and believe it or not, they're made locally.
Well, Miller Wicks was originally a London-based company, and they started manufacturing the marching band flutes. A number of bands bought these flutes from them. The band I'm in, Pride of Ballinran, also bought flutes of them, so we had a long relationship with these guys. Around 2005, they decided they were going to retire. So we thought it would be a really good idea if some of us, actually went over and looked and see could we do this. So we went across, we saw all of the equipment, we saw how to do the work, how to make the flute, and so we decided we would purchase the company. One of the stipulations was that we kept the name Miller Wicks, but we weren't going to change that anyway because it's a brand name which was recognised worldwide. So we brought the company across, we set up here. From then on, we've been making the Miller Wicks flutes. There's 2 of us basically involved in the manufacturing process. Myself, Paul, and another guy called Kenneth, who does the key work. I do all the wood turning, and then Kenny comes along, puts all the keys and the pillars on. Well, the wood we buy comes from Africa, and it's seasoned in excess of 5 years and produces a really lovely tone. They're quite easy to play. A learner picking up the flute from the word go can quite easily get a good note from it. Not only do we have the pleasure of making the B-flat flutes, we also have the pleasure and the joy of playing them because we're both members of the Pride of Ballinran Flute Band, and we play these flutes every week at practice and on parade.
Fascinating about those flutes. Now, on the street, lots of visitors come into the city, so I'd like to introduce you to...
Mike Boland.
And you're?
Brandy.
And where are you both from?
North Carolina.
And what brings you here today?
We traveled all of Ireland, and this is where we finished, and so, yeah.
And I noticed, Mike, you were filming earlier on, although you do get the best pictures on the BBC. But what were you actually filming?
I was just filming all the bands and the parade going by, just catching what I could on film so I could take it back home, and show the family and that kind of thing.
And you have a serious camera with you, Brandy, so what are you up to today?
taking pictures to probably put on my website and maybe blog about the travels and what I've learned.
And have you seen any parades like this before?
No.
And how do you think they'll go down on your website?
It'll be interesting. I like to see the comments from it.
What do you think people might say or the response that they might get?
I'm not sure. It's very military, so I'm interested to see what people have to say about it.
Right, well, thank you very much. I hope you enjoy the rest of the day. Nice to meet you. Thank you so much. Back to you, Walter.
Thank you very much indeed, Helen. Well, the parade has been with us here in our position in the centre of Belfast for just over an hour and 10 minutes or so. And that's why we have a little bit of a break, but the drums are picking up again now, I think giving us a little performance in front of the cameras. David, I'm just wondering, there are a lot of family traditions in the lodges. Are there personal memories for you of this?
Well, I suppose one of my earliest memories would be with my late father going down the road from the lodge hall down to the nearby church, where they still walk that route today, and the band is a silver band, so fantastic band, and I would have a lot of memories of that.
It's very good to see a piece of tradition going on here, and a bit of education too with young drummers. Meantime, we're going to Ralph in Kilkeel.
Well, Kilkeel's been quite a day, I can tell you. There's been lots of colour, there's been lots of pageantry, and indeed lots of people on the streets. It's gone quiet now, but I'm with Dr. Gavin Hughes here, and it's been quite a day, Gavin, hasn't it? And a lot of memorable moments.
It has, Ralph, and I think the sun is actually beginning to peek through as well. But no, we've had an awful lot of interesting things going on today. We've had King Billy on his horse coming through leading the parade, and of course the district banneret this year has been new, and of course it has the Ulster Tower on it, reinforcing the symbolism of 1916 and the Battle of the Somme.
We are, of course, looking at footage from earlier on today, but the commemoration of World War I has been a significant element throughout the parades throughout Northern Ireland today.
It has, and here they were just seeing there the banner of number 506 Cumberland. Again, it has had its banner unfurled for the first time this year, and of course it has the 1st of July, a very, very significant theme this year.
And all the bands and all the different styles of music have added to the atmosphere in Kilkeel today. It was quite special in the streets, really.
It was, wasn't it? And I was very struck by Ballyvey. They say that's the largest in the world, and you could believe it, 163 members there are. It took a long time for them to go past. And of course, they're 343A and 343B is Auchnahury, which again, of course, has its First World War connection. But no, we've been really, I think, sort of quite honoured and privileged to see so many interesting, varied styles of music on display, and the various uniforms and the colour and the pageantry.
And the banners, of course, as well, have quite often brand new here, or at least very new.
Exactly, and that kind of shows the amount of dedication. I think Ballyvey, for example, has had a new banner of its hall, the Alfred Eady Hall, which was painted by William McGowan. And it's lovely to see that, a picture of its hall in the natural surroundings of the Mourns behind them, a bit like us today.
It really is such a setting, isn't it?
It
So
is.
picturesque. And indeed, there's something about the atmosphere here that does set it apart, and it's the kind of place with the history, I think, that you can keep on digging into, can't you?
That's it. I mean, you've got the family roots here. It's basically about Mourne people in the Mourne district, and what comes across is how family orientated it is, and how deeply passionate people here are about it. You come here and get a lovely warm welcome when we're here.
Very
as
much
well.
so. Very much so. Well, Dr. Gavin Hughes, thank you very much for your help today on the programme. That's
Thank you,
it
Ralph.
from us here in Kilkeel. I'll hand you back to Belfast.
Thank you, Ralph. We're back here again, and as you can see, the parade is still taking a break, bearing in mind that they've already been on the road for an hour and 20 minutes maybe, and in fact they've got another hour and a half before they get to the field. Earlier on, though, the honour of leading the Belfast Parade after the colour party and the county guests and the county officers, District number 3 from North Belfast, again, I suppose a medium-sized district, 15 lodges and 6 bands, and the Miller Memorial leading the parade.
And Miller Memorial have a long tradition of leading the Belfast Parade. Very great honour for a band to do so, and they're a fantastic band and always very well received along the route.
Each of the districts has its own officers leading that parade, and then the procession of lodges, 15 in this case. And again, the Miller had pride of place, as we've said, but they certainly made their presence felt. Marvellous music played and dressed so immaculately.
And the amount of work that goes in terms of bands, weekly rehearsals, is phenomenal, really. And in terms of the musical talent we have in Northern Ireland, I think it's very impressive when you look at it all, Walter, and see it today.
And here we are back again live. The picture is the parade members gather together, ready to start on the road again. They have all the way down the Dublin Road, across Shaftesbury Square, up Lisburn Road, and the top of the Malone into the field at Barnett's Domain. That's another hour and a half, I think, away. So they've still got no wonder they're taking a break. It's still a very colourful scene here. Very colourful scene here. And a lot of young members of the audience here, the participants along the crowded pavements here in Bedford Street. And now handing over to Helen.
Thank you, Walter. And don't forget that you can catch up with events across the day on BBC Newsline, Radio Ulster and on our online service. Now, you can also see some of the parades from across Northern Ireland later today. That's in our highlights programme. It's at 11:15 on BBC One, so tune in for that. Now, we are about to leave you, and we shall give you some images of the parades in Belfast and Kilkeel throughout the day. But from myself, Walter, Ralph and all of the team, a very good afternoon.